Oh my goodness, that took forever for me to figure out. I have an Apple laptop and I was trying to figure out why YouTube wasn't working. It was because I was on Safari and not Google Chrome. But I am proud of myself for figuring out how to download Google Chrome a few weeks ago. Anyhow, I have a lot to say. I know I've been away for a little while. The last video I think broke out a lot. I was having trouble with the Wi-Fi. I don't know why, but my point of last time was there's always a way. There's always a way to get things done. I tell myself that's my new motto. So take a deep breath and figure it out. And I somehow figured out how to do a hotspot, which I've never done before. Anyway, today I want to let you guys know that I did go to the mental hospital. Life got too rough for me. I have been going, doing these videos has brought back a lot of trauma, a lot of, feelings for me. I've had to do a couple really hard things in my life that I kind of always wanted to do, but never thought I could do it. And one of those things is just having to say goodbye to my mother for now, anyway. She's toxic in my life. I didn't want to bash her on here, but part of me had a lot of anxiety the last even couple years, wanting to have this conversation with my mom, asking her, do you feel bad for not having empathy when I was going through my crisis, for not having compassion and just giving me a loving hug that I needed from my mom? And unfortunately, I got my answer. She said no, she doesn't regret it. I knew what the answers were going to be. I knew the conversation wasn't going to go well. The whole way there to Starbucks when I met her in the morning a few days ago, Jesus Take the Wheel literally came on by Carrie Underwood. And I mean, in that moment, I was just crying, bawling, but I felt so at peace. I felt free. I felt like that's what I needed to do in the moment. And telling my story, which is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to write a book about my story. And I'm very honest. I really do not lie. I don't like to lie. I tell the truth. And even if you don't want to hear it, I will tell you the truth, how I feel, because I think sugarcoating things doesn't help anything. So I knew telling my story, I was going to have to talk about some hard things. And one of those hard things was not having my mother in crisis the way I needed her to. I know she thinks that she did what she needed to do. She went into nurse mode. She just ran past me after I took pills after, my divorce. And that was the only one time I did actually attempt a suicide. And I thought I could call my mom. Well, I should have called my dad. He's been my rock. My dad's retired fire captain. He's been, he travels a lot. He deserves trips to Hawaii, Chicago Cubs games. I prayed that he would go to see the World Series, and he did. And anyhow, I called my dad afterwards. I told him I needed to see him. I just needed to give him a hug. I knew he wasn't going to understand. A lot of my family don't understand. My sister and my brother both have a better relationship with my mom. But when I went through trauma and had to deal with some things and go to the hospital, I just never had a good relationship with her. So, and I shouldn't say never. We did have some good times. I mean, we went on family vacations. We did have some good times. I used to think my mom was my best friend. I would call her for everything. I now list my sister as my emergency contact. I confide in her. Although right now we are going through a hard time, but I won't get into that right now. What I will get into is the fact that I did have to surrender, for one, to God, because I do believe in God and I have faith now more than ever. I know He's guiding me every step of the way, along with my angels, all of the people who died in my life. And I've mentioned a lot of them. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I mentioned my Aunt Kiki, my Uncle Scotty, Adam, my Uncle Fritz, my Grandpa Fritz, my Grandpa John, my Grandma Shirley. I had Joe Stone. He died on my birthday 4 years ago in a bombing in Ukraine, a really good friend of mine. I've had three that I could think of, suicides from EMT buddies. My stepsister's, husband a couple years ago killed himself. So I've had a lot of death in my family, and I just do feel them with me, guiding me all the time. I did have to tell myself I needed sleep. Sleep is so important with mental health and mental wellness. And I would like to start using that word more than mental illness, because it is all about mental wellness. We want to get well. We want to be well. And when that stigma word, that mental illness word is so stigmatized, and bipolar, and, you need help, you need medications. So anyhow, I did call my dad and I did tell him, I need to sleep. Can you please come get me? Take me to Palo Verde Mental Hospital. I will pack my bag and be ready. And he said yes. And he jumped in the car right away. He came to get me, and he took me, and I had a calm conversation with him on the way there, and just told him some things I needed to tell him. And we get to Palo Verde, and there's no beds. It's full. The mental health system is so bad right now, especially with COVID and people not being able to socialize like they used to, do the things that they needed to do as far as coping skills and being around people. Although for me personally, I haven't lived my life in fear. I have still been around family. I have been doing things that when the law allows me to go to restaurants and bars and be around people. However, I won't get into COVID right now, but the beds are full. So my dad said, let's go to TMC, right? You've done that before. We've gone to TMC and you've gotten the help you needed and just gotten a good night's sleep. So I did go to TMC. I did end up getting, basically sedated. I kept losing my mind. I had a lot of flashbacks, a lot of trauma, and it just came out and I couldn't control it. There's a couple things going on that I won't get into details to right now, but I did break down a lot in the lobby. I was like, please help me, don't touch me. And my dad knows, like, when I'm in crisis, like, I know it happened a few years ago at the TCC. He was like, just back off of her. Don't, because I've had security guards hold me down before, and he just, I need my space. So I just asked them to please back off. I got up on the chair because I felt safe. Of course, they thought I was unsafe. So they're like, get down. Basically, once I was admitted, because they wanted, they admitted me, and I went back into the room, and there was a girl there named Kristen, I believe. I hope I say her name right. I love her. She knows me. She has worked with me several times before, and she said, I was even thinking about you. Like, I haven't seen you in a while. I showed her my new tattoo, which is, it's hard to see right here, but it's "Life is Tough." I need to put the comma to my tattoo guy, Jesse. But so am I. I'm going to go see him. It was my fault. I just forgot to put the comma. But with a semicolon, because, I haven't given up and I won't give up. And I do get knocked down and I get back up. So anyhow, I did spend the night there. Then they called me a lift to get home in the morning. So I got home. I slept a little bit. I think I went to an AA meeting. It was kind of a blur that day. I did a few things. I had to get some things done, but I wore myself out, and I ended up calling 911, and I won't say why exactly, but I did end up getting handcuffed and going to the CRC. So I have another story for the CRC from 4 years ago I won't get into right now. I know the cops, it's their go-to place to say, let's take you to the CRC. It's a crisis response center. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest. It's just supposed to be a temporary place where you can stay 24 hours. Luckily, this time I did only stay less than 24 hours. And the cop was so cool. His name is, well, I guess I won't say his name on here, but he was so cool. They said I can get handcuffed in the front. They didn't treat me like a criminal. Every experience I've had with the cops has been great. I respect them. I respect the hell out of them. We were going in. He's like, do you want to listen to music? And I'm like, yes, please. So he used his Spotify, and we listened to country. I was like, do you like country? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So I thought it was cool that, again, my Uncle Scotty, I don't know if I mentioned this, DJs for me. I think I did. And 5050, somebody call the po-po, I'm going crazy, or I think I'm going crazy, or something like that. I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect. So anyway, we went there, and a couple other cops were there dropping off patients, because right now, like I said, beds are full. People aren't getting the help they need. But it is okay to ask for help. If you need to take a break and you need to go to the hospital, to get medications or just talk to somebody or get a good night's sleep. Don't feel ashamed. Again, reach out to a friend if you can, like, just talk to somebody or be around somebody. Like, I have my dog. If you could hear him, he's chewing on his marrow bone right now. But he's amazing. I need to spend time with him now. My aunt actually took him for the weekend, which reminds me, I did stay at Sonora. I was transferred to Sonora Psych Hospital. There was a bed available. My cousin did work there, and is maybe working there again. She, made sure everything was good. A really good friend of mine, Dom, like, gave me a shirt to wear because, like, I had half of my bag was on the floor of my front seat of my car, so the cops didn't put my books and my clothes in there, so I didn't have a lot of clothes to wear for like 4 nights, I believe. So anyway, I wanted to just, like, shout out to my Aunt Val, who is like a sister, an aunt, and a mother to me. She's been amazing. She picked me up today when I got released at 11:30. She took my dog for the whole 4 days, and my dog is Dexter. He played with his cousin Josie Wales, and a golden retriever. And we're going to take the dogs walking tomorrow. I went to 2 AA meetings today. I knew my sponsor was going to be there, like, wondering, what the hell happened to you? I was going to call her, but I didn't have time, really. I just didn't have time. I had to go with the cops, like, at midnight. And when I got there, like I was saying, there was 3 other cops there, or 2 other cops dropping people off. And I was, like, telling them about my YouTube channel. And I was like, check out my YouTube channel. And the one guy was like, oh, I'm going to put it in right now. And he asked the guy who transported me, like, did you watch it yet? And he's like, no, not yet. But I just want you guys to know that you do have a voice, for one. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care. And if you don't have a voice, if you don't feel like you can tell your story or that you can, like, get the help you need, ask a friend. Ask anyone. Like, my neighbor's been amazing. She gets my package and puts it inside. And her son was like, where's Dexter? Like, and they're just great. And I just have a lot of support between everyone I met in AA who's seriously like family. I love them. They're all so genuine and kind. I have my sister, my cousins, my aunt, I have my neighbor. I'm very fortunate to have the support I have right now because I am going through a hard time. This is my time to, like, basically, I'm 40. I feel like this is the beginning of my life. Moment to moment, I feel like God is, like, guiding me and my angels. I ordered pizza tonight because just, self-care is important. You want to be healthy, but also, like, treat yourself, I know there was, like, a guy at Palo Verde Hospital when I was 26, and he wrote on a piece of paper, and I guess I'll explain it later, but he wrote, no knives, no guns, have a milkshake, and just enjoy life and do something that makes you feel good, and just treat yourself well. I actually, like, said sorry to God because I didn't think I did anything wrong ever. I mean, I know I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect. But I said sorry because I have been treating myself bad. I've gained and lost weight so many times in my life. I don't have a healthy lifestyle. I, drank a lot, and then the drinking would cause my depression to be worse, and I would go into these dark, dark times where I did want to commit suicide. And I deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. I think we all deserve better than that. And I hope we can come together as a community, as friends. I don't care what your color, race, gender, I don't care. Like, love needs to overpower all. And I know there's still a lot of bad people in the world, but if we can all come together and fight this stigma of mental illness and become mental wellness, I would really love it. And I hope you guys shared my video, and I think I'll close out now and hang out with my dog and listen to some music because that is my biggest coping skill. So have a great night. Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.